Welcome back to the morning show here on Arise News. Following the official flag-off of President Buhari's presidential campaign on Sunday, presidential spokesman Femi Adesina is joining us now from our Abuja studio to talk on the Buhari administration's achievements and the president's next-level campaign plan. Good morning, and thank you for joining us on the show this morning.
Hi, Femi. Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Good morning.
Femi, now let's go straight to business. President Buhari says he's taking Nigeria to the next level.
Yeah.
He has talked about jobs. He has talked about doing a lot more with infrastructure, with power. Other speakers at that event talked about the achievements of the administration. But the PDP says no, there is no next level that President Buhari can take us to. They say his proposals are dead on arrival. Now, what is this next level all about?
I would like to start by saying, well, I wouldn't want to talk about the PDP because he that is down needs fear no fall. PDP is down. They're going to remain there for a long time, so I'd rather not talk about them. Now, what the next level is about. Next level is about deepening what is happening in the country. It's about consolidating on what has been done and what is being done. It's about making progress and advancing on what we are doing now. That's the sum total of it.
No, I think you need to provide us a few more details because the president flagged off the campaign more or less, and he talked about a number of issues. What is it, what is it that he plans to do differently? He talked about jobs. He said the same thing in 2014, 2015. He talked about infrastructure. He said the same thing in 2014, 2015. He's talking about doing more with security, the economy, and all of that. Some Nigerians will say there's nothing original here, and that in 3.5 years, he's not been able to do much on the same issues on which he's making promises.
Well, I'm glad you used the word some Nigerians. Out of 196 million
and use
Nigerians.
Another phrase.
No, you will not. I'll not permit you to change it. I'll not permit you to change it. So those some Nigerians have a right to their opinion, but they are in the minority, a tiny minority. A lot of Nigerians believe in what this administration is doing. They have faith, they have confidence, they have hope that the administration is going to take Nigeria to the place it deserves to be. All the areas you have mentioned, security, fighting corruption, reviving the economy, yes, that is work in progress. It will continue. And if you look at the documents that were released, there are additional focal areas. So, in the next dispensation, by the grace of God and by the goodwill of Nigerians who will re-elect the administration, those 3 focal areas will continue to receive attention, and there will be additional ones, as you've seen in the document. Many more jobs to come, education reforms and rehabilitation of schools, tweaking the curriculum, many more other areas, as you have seen in that document. I'm sure you have gone through it.
But the international community seems to have given up on this administration. The reports we get is that the international community is saying that in 3.5 years, President Buhari, not having shown enough capacity to run Nigeria, does not deserve a second term. Yes, Nigerians will vote, but also we're part of a global community.
You have quickly answered the question yourself so that you won't give me an elbow room to answer it. That is Nigerians that will vote. And that is the truth. It's Nigerians that will vote, not the international community. And I don't know the amorphous international community you are talking about, because a few newspaper editorials do not amount to the international community. I have been with the president to many countries of the world, and I see firsthand the respect that they give to our president. I hear what they say about Nigeria under President Buhari's watch. So you cannot come and say that the international community, no, not at all.
Well, in 2015, President Buhari relied heavily on the endorsement of the international community, but he seems to have lost that goodwill. Now, beyond that, the average Nigerian, whom you say will vote, they seem to have the impression that the only way President Buhari can win is by rigging the election. And there have been concerns about elections in Osun, in APC, and also most recently in Kwara, that it seems that there is a cabal, well, put that in quotes, that is determined to rig President Buhari back.
Well, two things you have raised there, that the international community does not believe that President Buhari will win again. What the international community does is a forecast and not an endorsement. And forecasts do fail. Forecasts, whether they be political, whether they be social, whether they be religious, they do fail. Because God is the ultimate authority. You can come with all sorts of forecasts. If God says no to those forecasts, it remains no. So don't make heavy weather of any forecast that has come from any international community. And the few I have seen are the ones that can be procured. They can easily be procured. We know how these things work. Okay. Now, the second part of your question is that rigging may be a factor. Not with President Muhammadu Buhari. I am surprised that this president has been with you for about 3.5 years, and yet you do not seem to know him. If anybody will rig anything, it will not be President Muhammadu Buhari. Well, President Buhari will rather even lose. Let me anchor my thoughts, please. He would rather even prefer to lose fair and square than to tamper with the election. He has said it before. He has said it to me in a one-to-one discussion. He has said it openly that if the only thing he will leave for Nigeria as a legacy is free and fair election, he will do it. So forget that the elections will be rigged. That will not happen.
Well, Femi, let's look at the specifics. One, the president says he's going to create jobs. He's going to establish a people's bank. And trader money will remain a major highlight of the social investment program. If all of these have not worked in 3.5 years, what is the assurance that this will work in another 4 years if Nigerians allow him to return?
That is your opinion, that it has not worked.
No, I'm asking a question.
Your opinion is not cast in concrete. Oh, no, you made a statement in asking your question, and I have to first debunk that fallacy that you made, that it has not worked. It is working, because it is work in progress. So you can't say it has not worked. And if anybody says it has not worked, which I don't agree with, it could be maybe because the country was run into a hole, and there was no money. And as the economy begins to turn and the more money came into the coffers, then a lot more things could be done. But to say it has not worked with a tone of finality, no, I disagree with that. Yeah,
but more money has been coming into the coffers, but NNPC has remained very opaque under President Buhari. And there are issues about, returns into the federal covers and all of that. And he's not been able to deal with that. I don't know whether you take that as a final comment.
No, those are allegations which NNPC has responded to, and they are in the best position to respond to it. So you just have to take what they have said. If you can't pick further holes in what NNPC has said, then you've got to accept what they have explained.
Let me ask you about the event at which President Muhammadu Buhari launched his campaign. Are you aware of the raging controversy, especially on social media? Up till today, it's trending. It's about the service chiefs attending that event. We've heard statements from Mr. Garba Shehu. We've also seen statements from Festus Keyamo. But we would like to get your reaction. Were the service chiefs of the country at the political event of President Muhammadu Buhari?
storm in a teacup. For me, it doesn't matter one way or the other. It's a storm in a teacup. I'd rather not talk about it.
No, let me rephrase the question for you so that you can get it more clearly.
Okay.
Should that launch of President Buhari's campaign, should it have taken place in the presidential villa? Considering that it was a partisan event, shouldn't he have chosen a neutral ground rather than using state resources to promote his own ambition?
You got it wrong. He did not launch a campaign.
Okay, whatever he did was the villa the appropriate place.
When your principal, with due respect to you,
no, my principal at the time went to Eagle Square.
Wait! I have listened to you. You need to listen to me. When your principal went around this country the last time canvassing for votes, did he fly in private planes? He flew the president.
No, we're talking about the venue for the declaration of intent. Should it have been in the villa, or should it?
It's neither here nor.
Oh no. Okay. Can the presidential candidate of the PDP also be allowed to use the conference center of the Aso Villa to come and declare his interest in the presidency, or launch his campaign, or meet with people?
I do not know, but I know that when that party was in office, there were many party events that held at the villa. And that's one of the privileges a sitting president has.
Let me also ask you this, Mr. Adesina. Are you aware of the alleged plagiarism complaints against the Next Level, which your principal has launched? The logo is what has got Nigerians talking. It is very similar to that of an education fund. Are you aware of this?
No, I'm not aware of that yet, but if anybody has issues with it, they can come forward with it. And those who conceived and executed that can always defend themselves.
All right, let's go back to the plan for this administration. Now, the National Social Investment Program has been said to have a negative impact on our economy. Are you aware of that? And they're saying it's likely to create dependency on the government. So it's like, giving people fish instead of really teaching people how to fish. What's your take on that?
Well, there will always be people in any setting, in any milieu, who will be professional complainers. No matter what you do, they will try to poke holes in it. It seems to be their pastime. So if some people are saying that, I have not heard it, and even if I hear it, I will not subscribe to it. I don't believe it, because that's a policy that is changing lives. And this administration is about touching lives and changing lives. It's changing the lives of millions. So if they come with that caper, I don't have to agree with them.
No, let's put it like this. Are you aware that people are saying that trader money, giving people 10,000, whatever thousand, is an attempt at vote buying, considering the timing?
That's another.
And people are not really impressed.
They're talking about timing. Talking about timing, there is never a bad time to do a good thing. Never, never. There is no bad time to do a good thing.
Yeah,
because
when you do it,
is elected,
for selfish reasons, with expectations that the people will vote for.
I think you should let me finish.
Okay.
Let me finish. When an administration is elected and inaugurated on May 29 or any other date, it is in power. It is in office. It is in government till May 29 of the 4th year. So there is nothing like saying a time to do something, because that administration is elected for a period of 4 years. What it can still do something on May 28, it is legitimate.
But Femi, between us, with the crisis in the APC, in different states, at the federal level, with the confusion that seems to have overtaken the ruling party, do you really think President Buhari is standing firm? Do you really think he stands a chance? Do you really think he has a quality response to the resurgence, to the revival of the PDP, which seems to be the major opposition party now and the major challenger. I don't want SA media response. I want an analysis.
I don't speak for the APC. They have a spokesman, but you talked about a resurgent PDP. I said at the beginning I don't want to talk about that party. That's a party whose flag is flying at half-mast. It's still at half-mast. I've not seen a resurgent PDP. Rather, I see a party that its head is bloodied and bowed. And it will remain like that for a long time to come in this Nigeria. And talking about President Muhammadu Buhari as a person now, I believe that the president still has tremendous goodwill, tremendous attraction. The president is perhaps the most colorful politician we have seen in this country since maybe after the Second Republic. And maybe perhaps MK Abiola to an extent also had color and charm and people followed him. But after that, you have never seen somebody naturally loved, somebody that the people gravitate to without inducement, like President Muhammadu Buhari. I think that virtue is still there, that element is still there, and it will make a lot of difference.
I mean, you are beginning to sound like a politician. When did you become a politician? I read that you are going to be running mate to a governor. No, I mean, you are doing a technocratic job and you are sounding more like a politician now. They seem to have influenced you. But
I'm a professional in politics.
You know, you are beginning to sound like politicians. Now, I mean, you say President Buhari is colorful and all that. But one other president described him as lifeless.
Yes,
yeah, but somebody else described him as lifeless.
Well, that has not been authenticated. It's something that was probably planted by hidden hostile hands, because the person that it was attributed to has not come up to own it. I'm sure some hidden hostile hands planted that. And they will see that whatever they attempted to gain, they failed resoundingly.
Yeah, but the American president has not denied that statement. The statement was published by an American newspaper.
Neither has he admitted that he said it. Neither has he admitted that he said it. Some people planted it.
Well, the Financial Times has not withdrawn their statement, but let's leave that. Now, see.
Well, you and I know that the media are often very reluctant to withdraw anything.
Well, I mean, that's our business.
Unless there is superior evidence and argument.
Yeah, but, okay, let me ask you this. President Buhari is saying Nigerians should not, embrace violence in the 2019 elections and all of that. Nice statement. Good thing to say as president. But what is the guarantee that the security agencies, because this was asked you earlier on, that it was strange that the security chiefs of Nigeria attended a political event. Some of them even wear badges. They go about wearing Buhari for second-term badges. Now, how can Nigerians be assured that in 2019, that the security agencies, the security chiefs, will not think that it is their job to do everything to put President Buhari there by force, by any means possible? If they are already going about attending campaigns and attending political party meetings.
The security chiefs can speak for themselves. They also have spokesmen who can speak for them. It is not, in my place, it is not my duty to speak for them. But we also remember that there was a sitting president that fired an inspector general of police in this country because the inspector general of police did not do his will in the election which he lost. Let's not forget that.
No, who are you referring to? Because what you are saying sounds like fiction to me.
History. It's already in the history books.
No, written by who? Written by other people who are revising history.
Okay. As Mr. Adesina, as this administration winds down and fingers remain crossed whether it will return to power, there seems to be one promise that some Nigerians are looking forward to be fulfilled, and that's the issue of the Chibok girls and the abducted Leah Sharibu. What's the president's sense to this promise as he launches his campaign officially and electioneering begins? What is the president saying about this particular issue?
Yeah, a couple of times the president has said it, that whatever it takes to bring back the girls, the balance of the Chibok girls and Leah Sharibu, who remains of the Dapchi girls, whatever it takes. He even said at a point that if it means paying, he will pay. He said that long ago. And you know that it's a sensitive, very sensitive thing. It's not something you go charging into where the girl is, if perhaps the security agencies know it, because she stands the risk of losing her life in that process. We know of rescue missions all over the world that failed. So it's something that has to be, that we have to be painstaking about, because life, precious life, is involved. But whatever it takes to get the balance of the Chibok girls and to get Leah Sharibu, the government is doing.
You just mentioned that the president is also willing to pay, but by doing this, you are actually giving them ammunition to continue to keep the girls and continue to carry out these actions.
It's an argument that will never end. Doesn't America pay? The countries of the world, don't they pay? When hostages are taken, don't they pay? It's a matter of, do we want these girls back? The president was factual enough to say, if it means paying, I will pay. How else do you want to see his commitment to get the girls back? Head or tail, you never win with some Nigerians at times. He offers to pay, they say he's giving ammunition to the insurgents. He doesn't pay, they say, oh, he's not doing anything to rescue the girls.
Okay, the president is also very big on anti-corruption, right? You know, I have this issue, to be specific, right? The House of Rep recently indicted the vice president and Nima over a 5.8 billion naira fund for IDPs. And we have not heard anything from the president. What is the president saying about this?
That indictment is not even worth the paper on which it is written, if ever it is written on a paper. Because did you watch the proceedings? Did you watch those who raised the issue? Did you watch those who spoke, who said all those negative things they said? They were all members of the opposition. It's more of a political thing rather than something grounded in fact and truth.
Well, Femi,
it's not even worth. And the office of the vice president has responded on it, and I think that settles it.
Femi, President Jonathan is launching his book today. The book titled My Transition Hours. And President Buhari is one of the major guests of honor. Is President Buhari going to attend the event? One. Two, have you guys seen the book?
It's going to be represented by the Secretary to the Government of the Federation.
Okay, but have you guys read the book? Have you seen an advanced copy? And are you likely to make any issue out of the book?
Actually, when somebody met me, going to about 2 weeks now on the book and the possibility of getting the president to attend, I asked for a copy of the book. He promised to send, but he didn't get back to me. And by the way, I was surprised that you are not the one that wrote the book. I felt it should have been written by Dr. Ruben about it.
President Jonathan wanted to write the book himself.
You think that's a question?
No, he wanted to write the book himself.
And he started that's a question, I want an answer.
No, he wanted to write the book himself. He insisted he would write the book himself.
Okay.
And he started talking about the book from the very moment that we were already packing out of the presidential villa. Okay, so the book, the idea even was birthed right there in the presidential villa. And I think that he has done quite a job of responding to many of the allegations, the propaganda against him, the blackmail, the major issues that were thrown up against his administration. You should get the book and read it.
I'd love to.
Yes, and I would like to see what your reaction will be. Anyway, thank you very much, Femi, for coming to the morning show.
By the way, I think the country is also still waiting to read from you. You are a spokesman. And
Yes.
it's going to 4 years after the government exited. So we can't wait to read your own account.
Don't worry. There will be many accounts, including mine. You know, the story will be told. We will not leave the history
Good.
to revisionists. So thank you very much, Femi Adesina, presidential spokesman to President Muhammadu Buhari, for coming to the morning show.
Thank you, Mr.
We'll invite
Adesina.
you again. Thank you.
All right.
Well, it's now time for a short break.